This is the Milwaukee Fastback 6-in-1 utility knife, and while there's probably not one single tool that you have to have on every project, this is the closest I've seen. The first and most obvious function on this one is it's a utility knife. That's its first and foremost purpose. You've got a blade here that's totally traditional. You can use a little button on the back here to push it out, and then with that you've got a regular blade, and there's all different varieties of these that you can get. If you need to swap it out, you just flip it around, insert it back in, and you're done. You can also put a new blade in there, and in fact it has a little carrying spot right on here for one of the blades. There's a lesser known feature built into these fastbacks that's really cool. There's a little pocket right here next to the blade that's specifically designed for scoring with a tape measure. Let's say I need to score this drywall along a certain length, for example. Let's go 4 inches. Then I can actually just slide that right into the pocket. And now with this, at 4 inches, I can put my finger right at 4 and then follow that along and get a perfectly straight 4-inch line all the way down. The second feature is the wire stripper right here. Now, not your traditional wire stripper, but great if you just need a few done really quick and you don't need to go get a separate tool for this. So I'm just gonna hold the wire right in there, rotate it around to cut the sheathing, and then I can pull that off just like that. Makes a nice clean cut right down to the wire. This is only 18 gauge, so I can also do this with a thicker wire. Here's a 12 gauge wire. So as I rotate it like this around, same thing, and then you can either pull it off like that, or you can pull it off separately afterwards if you need to, and it even works up to this really thick 10 gauge wire, which most people aren't going to use very often, but it's cool that it has the option to go all the way up to that thick of a gauge. Once I've got a nice seam cut open like that, I can just pull this end right off like that. Function number 3 is a built-in bottle opener. It's got these little hooks right here, so you can grab onto a nice cold drink, spill it all over your workbench like that, and then you have a nice cold drink right in front of you. Now personally, I love drinking Coke, but I'm on a challenge with my friends, no soda for 6 months, which I kind of hate, but that means I have to drink something nasty like this stuff. Personally, I hate bubble seltzer stuff like this. This is Topo Chico, something I found, but I can drink it, so let's give this a try. All right. Ugh. It's like soda without any of the good stuff. Feature number 4 is a slotted screwdriver built right into the tool here. So this can come out super handy for working on outlets and light fixtures and things like that where you need to take the plate off and get access to the device behind it. This is a 1/4 inch screwdriver. It's actually ideal for electrical. This is the right size so it fills that whole entire gap right there and doesn't slide around as much as any smaller screwdriver would, and it's really just perfect for this electrical work. Feature number 5 is a Phillips driver bit. So this just swaps out like this from the slotted, pops in here, and I've heard some people complain that it's too tough to pull this out, but I kind of like that it's a little bit stiff at least, so that if you drive something in and then you pull your tool away, it's not going to stick to the screw itself or the fastener, which I think is ideal. So I find that it's not that difficult. Remember this wire that we stripped before? Well, maybe this is a bit of a hidden feature, maybe a hacky way to do it, but it works actually really well. This wire pocket clip here can be used to create my little shepherd's hook. So I can feed it in there like this, bend it over to just the right shape, like so. That's an ideal shepherd's hook right there. Then I can wire it onto my outlet, feed it in, get a nice tight fit like this, and then I can use the Phillips to tighten it down into place. All of this just with my fold-out, flip-out utility knife. Not too shabby. Our final feature, feature number 6 on this, is that you can actually just take that bit out and now you have a 1/4 inch hex driver. This is useful for a bunch of different things. If you just have a 1/4 inch hex screw, like this one right here, then I can actually just use this to loosen or tighten the actual screw right from there, and it just goes just like this. This one's in there really good, but I'm loosening it here, and I don't have to have any other tools. It's just a hex driver, which is great. A couple notes on the screwdriver itself. Number 1, it does have a lockout mechanism, so you're not going to accidentally fold this in on your hand, which is nice. The mechanism to close it again is just by pushing this little tab right in here. Now some people like that and some people don't. This is hard to access with gloves, so keep that in mind. It's not perfect in that sense. Another thing I like is there's an indent so that at 90 degrees it stops. So I can have it open all the way like this, and then once I start to release it, it can lock there. And it doesn't lock, it just kind of holds in place. That means if you've got something that requires high leverage like this, if I want to tighten this down, I can use it sideways like this, which is really handy. Now, in case if you're wondering if I'm just being a Milwaukee fanboy here, I actually went out and bought every sort of compatible or comparable flip out, fold out, utility knife, whatever you want to call it, that I could find locally in the area. Home Depot, Harbor Freight, Lowe's, every place I could find, Ace Hardware. These are what I came up with, tested them all out, and as you'll see in this montage, there's varying rates of success. Some of them don't flip out well, some of them are really smooth and slick, other ones don't fit in your pocket so well and the clip doesn't work too well, and other ones are great. But overall, as far as features, none of them have as many features as the Milwaukee Fastback 6-in-1, although other ones, if you're just looking for a blade, were actually pretty decent. Now, it should be noted that the 6-in-1 Fastback I've been showing in this video, I just bought brand new for this video. This is the one I actually use every day. This is the one I use the most. I use it in the shop, I keep it in my pocket for most of the time, and it's been dropped in paint, it's been scuffed up, it's been dropped on concrete floors and in the dirt, and it still works just as good as the day I bought it. And if something goes wrong, you've got that lifetime warranty backing you up. Now, you certainly don't need to rush out and buy one of these today, but the next time you're at the hardware store, take a look at these flip-out folding utility knives, especially these Milwaukee Fastbacks that I think are so useful for all kinds of projects. If you prefer shopping at Lowe's, you can check out that shopping bag icon right down here in the lower right corner, and you'll get links directly to the Cobalt versions of these. Or if you want to see the Milwaukees or any of the others I've shown today, you can check those out with links in the description below. I'm Nils with Learn to DIY. Thanks for watching.